Tonight on Beer Geek Nation, Green Flash Brewing's LeFreak. Hey guys, welcome to Beer Geek Nation. I'm your host, Chris Steltz. Tonight we're doing another California-based brewery, one that I've previously viewed. It is Green Flash Brewing. A couple of reviews ago, maybe 5 or 10 reviews ago, I reviewed their triple, which was a Belgian-style triple, basically with a West Coast feel to it. It was a great beer, I'm not going to lie to you. It was a great great example of a Belgian triple. Even though it was kind of a West Coast style and a take on it, but you know, it was still a great beer. So I decided to review their, it's called LeFreak, and it's a Belgian-style IPA. But the nice thing about this one, it's based on their Belgian triple recipe that they basically blended with like a West Coast IPA. So I'm really looking forward to this one because I really like the Green Flash Brewing beers. And this one is coming off of, a couple of reviews ago I did Flying Dog's Raging Bitch Belgian IPA. And I had some issues with that one because I felt it was more or less just an IPA that they threw some Belgian yeast in. They didn't, you know, change the grain bill, add any candy, Belgian candy, sugar, anything like that. So I think with this one, we're going to get more of an authentic, and I use authentic loosely because it's kind of a, you know, hybrid style beer anyways. But I think we're going to get more of an authentic taste along the lines of like Le Chouse Houblon, which is a, you know, an officially Belgian triple IPA. So I'm hoping we get more of the, you know, the sweetness and the spiciness from the yeast characters and the bready notes from the Belgian grain. But I want that, you know, that West Coast hop feel and aroma to it. But I want it to all kind of meld together, which never really happened with the Flying or the Raging Bitch Ale. It just kind of was two separate beers, and they never really got together. So this is LeFreak. It is a 9.2% Belgian triple IPA. It's available now from Green Flash Brewing out of California. If you can get their stuff, it's going to be, available to you. So let me get it in a glass, let you know how it smells, how it tastes, and give you the verdict. So when I popped the lid right before filming, I got that very typical West Coast hop, you know, blast right out of the top of the bottle, and that kind of set me, you know, a couple steps back, saying, all right, you know, I'm going to give it. Hope this doesn't have the same issue that I had with Raging Bitch, where it was more of just an IPA without that Belgian spell. But when I was pouring it, I got a very sweet, kind of bready malt smell, that's exactly what I was kind of hoping would kind of mellow out the hops. So then, yeah, that's the aroma on this thing is extremely complex, and I don't really know where to start with it. You get these citrus hops, you know, the piney, citrusy, small amounts of grapefruit, small amounts of even tropical fruits are in this one. But it blends perfectly with fruity notes and spicy notes of the Belgian yeast, bready characters, light bready characters, biscuity characters from the Belgian malts that are in here. And it just kind of, you know, dances in the cup, and just kind of, when it gets all together, just this amazing aroma of a beer, really, that you're not going to find in too many places, because, you know, it is this Belgian IPA, which is kind of a new style. So I mean, it's just a you know, for lack of a better word, it's a beautiful smell. I mean, it really is. It's a sweet, fruity kind of passion fruit, tropic mango mixed in there with a little bit of, you know, pininess and grapefruity. And then just the fruity characters of the Belgian yeast just kind of mix with it, and it's just phenomenal. So, I mean, enough of that. Let's get into the taste here. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, this is how a Belgian triple IPA should be done. bitterness, you know, citrus, extreme citrus bitterness right in the front of the tongue. As soon as it gets to the middle of the tongue, back of the tongue, it is completely melded in with the sweet breadiness of the Belgian malts, and the yeast characters of the Belgian yeast just completely take over once it's in your mouth. And I should mention, this is brewed with both an ale yeast and a Belgian yeast. So it does have a dry finish from that, you know, that West Coast IPA yeast. That's the kind of the characteristic of the Belgian, or excuse me, of the West Coast IPA, with that dry, bitter finish. You don't get the real bitterness, but you definitely get the dryness from that ale yeast. But at the same time, it's mixed with the fruity esters and, you know, the bready characters of the Belgian yeast, and just makes a perfect combination. Yeah, it's out of this world. So this is, you know, another green flash hit in my book. Yeah, it's just it's a perfect mix of an Imperial IPA and a Belgian beer, and it doesn't taste like two beers in one cup. It tastes like a single beer. You get both, you get, you know, elements of both, and they're mixed together perfectly. They balance off of one another, and that is what I want in a really good beer. I think that's, you know, if I can teach one thing, it's that balance in beer is just so important. You know, even for the extreme beers like the Imperial IPAs, Russian Imperial Stouts, they're extreme, and, you know, their bases are basically, it's an unbalanced beer to start off with, but it takes a true, you know, brewmaster craftsman to really kind of mellow everything together and make it an extreme balanced brew, if that makes any sense. This is a perfect case of that. Perfect bready malt from the Belgian, you know, malts. Perfect amount of West Coast citrus, mango-y. Both yeasts are, you know, doing exactly what they're supposed to be doing. The California Ale IPA yeast is drying everything out in the end. The Belgian yeast, probably it tastes like it was fermented pretty warm, so you're getting those fruity, kind of Belgian-y, biscuity esters from it. And just all in all, it's damn near close to perfect beer as far as, you know, hybrid style, mixed style kind of goes. Just, yeah, phenomenal. As it gets warmer, I'm getting more of the Belgian yeast, which is kind of pretty cool. So on a scale of 1 to 10, I don't do it too often, but I'm going to give this one a 10. I've never had this before, and this is a surprise. You know, my hat's off to them. Again, this is Green Flesh Brewing. It's LeFreak. It's a Belgian triple IPA, 9.2%. It's basically their Belgian triple recipe, which is a great beer on its own, mixed with an Imperial IPA recipe. So, you know, two things in my book that can't go wrong, and they do not in this. So I'm going to give this one a 10 out of 10, and until next time.